All right, now, good. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully, everybody's doing fantastic and great. So, you know what? Let's just jump right into it. All right. So, a question again from you guys. This is a good one, and we'll show you how it works. Why did the Creator program us with the bad side of the ego? Is it to test our consciousness? All right. So, look, let me show you how creation, manifestation, and all this stuff work, and we're going to tie it into our ego. First of all, a lot of the stuff that you guys have been taught or that have been programmed into your mind about how reality works, about how you work, about the universe and all that stuff, it is totally incorrect. So let's get right into it. And I can prove it to you right now because you have it in you. All right. There's two things we have. We have what's called beliefs, and then we have what we call an inner knowing. A belief is something that's put into us through our subconscious mind, and it makes us see our world. We call that maps of reality. A knowing is something you can't change. It's just who you are. Now, we know, and I know who I am. You know right now that you are aware of everything, right? That's one thing you know. Did you also know that you have been incarnated? You've always been here. You have countless past lives. Also, did you know that you are in fact the creator? You are part of the creation. You are awareness. You are consciousness. You are part of God. So the first thing we want to answer this question is, did the creator program us with the bad side of ego? The first lesson about how the universe works, guys, it's called duality. Nothing is bad or good. Everything just is. We, as a society, give meaning to it. So we say, this ego is bad, this ego is good. So it's none of that. So you weren't programmed with a what you call bad ego. What happens is when you were brought into this world, first of all, you existed before time indefinite. And then what happens is when you came here in a 3D perspective, you kind of gave yourself what we call amnesia because you want to get the experience. That's how consciousness works. So you purposely forget a lot of things. And to make you become aware of this world, your mind created two hemispheres, right side and left side. Left side is the logical, structural side of our brains. That's where we housed what we call our ego. So you did that, and then what happens is while you're in this game, society also created other rules to the game, other society, other classes, and that's where now you have resistance, fear, and lack. So your ego is just doing its part to be a part of this, what we call world or society. Now the next part is, are we testing ourselves? You don't test yourself unless you want to test yourself. Here's how consciousness works in the universe. The only thing that you will always experience is existence. The only thing you ever know is existence. Before existence, you weren't aware, right? So when you're aware of what? When you're existing now. So because you're in existence mode, you're part of the universe. The next thing is consciousness, the universe, and God. What is God? Who is God? Is there the creator and all of this stuff? Well, here's the truth, guys. You, my friends, are creators and co-creators in this universe. And how do we know this? We're now peering deep into the atom, in quantum physics. We're now learning that everything is a wave, and so are you. You are waves in different realities, in different dimensions, simultaneously shifting back and forth. This is why you can have so many different thoughts, so many different experiences. We now know that. And we also know that you are the awareness of everything happening in your world. So the ego, what the ego does is the ego has been programmed in this reality. Hence, it has to focus on keeping you safe. And a lot of the tools it uses to keep you safe are the ones you don't like. It likes to use resistance. It likes to use fear. It likes to use doubt. Now, with this wave that you are, someone asked this question, how do you collapse the wave? Here's the secret, and this is so simple. You collapse the wave of every reality, guys, by what you put your attention or focus on. Whatever you do in this moment, you are collapsing and changing reality. You're changing the wave of possibility, the wave of probability. Look, This is fundamentally known now. This is not like science fiction anymore. This is science fact. We now know that human beings and everything in the universe is no solidity. It's actually everything is waves. And when you observe the wave, the brain creates images and pictures to collapse the wave. So if my attention is on feeling good or being happy, what's going to happen? The wave is going to collapse and it's going to show me things that will make me feel good or feel happy. If my attention is on I'm worrying, I'm stressing, I'm not know if this is going to work, whatever, my brain is going to collapse the wave to show me that. And this is all done through my subconscious mind. So when you have your ego, it's up to you, the observer, to determine what works for you. And the easiest way to do this is to switch your attention and focus on what you want or things that make you feel good. Now let's go to the part of the question they ask. Is it to test our consciousness? All right. So we have this stigma, and a lot of people think this. The universe is testing me. Is the universe testing me? Here's the answer to that, guys. The universe is you. It doesn't do anything. It's a wave of different frequencies. It has infinite, absolute power, knowledge, everything. So if you think you're being tested, it's your own subconscious mind initiating you to be tested. There's no outside thing out there controlling you or testing you. It's all you. And this is, see, they don't teach you this. They teach you that there is some entity outside of you that controls your life and your destiny. And this is now fundamentally being disproven. And the reason this is so good and so powerful, because science is doing this. Quantum physics is showing you and showing I that there is no other source except you. There cannot be a universe, there cannot be a world, there cannot be I or you without you, the observer. If you're not here, none of this exists. So this goes into a deeper portal now. Here's deeper portal. Every single person in your reality is fabricated and created by you. They may look real, they may feel real. They're all the same consciousness. Everything in your experience is doing the same thing. You're constantly regurgitating and putting out the energy of different forms. You see how that works? Now, I got to specify this because this is very important, guys. A creator is you. All right, check this out. Let me put it to you this way. The universe has always been here. It just is. It cannot have a beginning. It cannot have an end. Listen to this. It's hard for your mind to grasp that because we're used to beginning and end. But think about that. Science is now finding, and this is what's perplexing the mind, that the universe just came. It's just here. You're just here. Your consciousness, awareness and consciousness creates this. So you're always here. So you can never go nowhere. So you're the creator. You're the experiencer of all these things. You can have it. And you do it through your subconscious mind. And the reason, now that the question is, okay, so I'm here now in this 3D earth. Why did I have this mind, these two minds? Okay, you have one mind to help you to survive in the game. That's the conscious mind. This game we created here is called the Matrix, okay? The other part of your mind always stayed with you when you came here. It's called the subconscious. It's the tether that connects you to your higher self. That mind stays with you at all times because it's infinite. It's the source of communication that goes into the right hemisphere of your brain, where you house intuition, where you house the psychic abilities, the visionary, the imagination. All of that comes in. Your guides can speak to you. Your higher self speaks to you. All that comes through your subconscious mind. So that will always be with you. Now, the thing about it is, that when the subconscious mind developed, it is very illogical. And it had to be illogical because it can access infinity. So when we created a game in the 3D matrix, we created things that are limited. The subconscious is limitless. This is why if you say anything to your subconscious, it believes it because it can create it. The problem with that, though, is when you're in the matrix, when you say certain things like bad things, which you're doing bad things, your subconscious can create that as well. So that's the only what we call misinterpretation of it. So you have to understand that when you're here, your ego is going to do what it's going to do. It's not testing you, it's you testing it. So what you have to learn to do, you have to learn to adjust. Just like in any game. You watch the game, you learn the game, you master the game. It's just like that. This is how this reality stuff works. Now, if you don't believe me, I could give you a test right now that you could do tonight, and you will see the proof. So if you don't think this is all true, do this tonight before you go to bed. Go out, say out loud right before you go to bed. Just talk out to yourself just like this. Say, hey, show me a sign that you are my higher self, or show me a sign that I am infinite, or show me a sign that I am not just the ego. Or you can ask it to do something. Hey, show me a sign to get some coffee tomorrow. Give me a sign of this. Give me a sign. Answer this question out loud right before you go to bed. And when you go to bed, forget about it. And within the next couple of days or even couple of weeks, you will get the sign revealed to you, because that's just how it works. We now understand more laws of how universe, physics, mind, body, intellect, we understand how it works now. I'm not going to say we fully understand, but we're about 70% there. Okay? So now we know the ego doesn't have a bad side. It's just how we interpret it is duality. It's just doing what it is. You determine the bad side. So change your perception. All right, next part we covered is, does it test your consciousness? Nothing tests your consciousness except you. You give power over your words. Reality, and even the Bible says, right, power of life and death is what? In the tongue, your mouth, your voice, what you say, what you think. You give your own self power. So keep that in mind. But look, so we got that. So the biggest thing I want to teach you guys and help you to understand is how to navigate and pass this what we call matrix, or this reality here. And here's what you need to know. Rule number 1 is that you are more powerful than you've been led to believe. Rule number 2, you are not a human person. You are a human being. A being, an infinite energetic being. Okay. Number 3, you are limitless. You are a wave of always potential and possibilities. 99% of your makeup is empty space. The way you change this reality is using your imagination. We know now in quantum physics that in order to collapse a wave, when we talk about collapsing a wave, it basically means taking from light to physical reality. That's a collapsing. So what is a wave in simple terms? A wave in simple terms mean all states that exist simultaneously until you observe it. So everything is like you walk in and you stop and you have all these possibilities, and then when you tune in, it sinks down and goes into one possibility. That's what you exist on. Okay, someone says, I am confused. Is belief a thought? All right, so let me explain to you and show you what a belief is. A belief will start as a thought. So how do you build a belief? It's something you think over and over again. And remember, because your subconscious is illogical, if you think it over and over, it goes in and it creates what's called a map of reality. And in the subconscious mind now, it forms a belief. And what becomes a belief now is you start to see evidence in your physical reality of your thoughts. And that drives your mind now to say, okay, this is true, and it solidifies the belief. That's what they've been doing to you your whole life without your knowledge. What they do is, when you were a kid growing up, they put the TV programs, they put the social media, they put this stuff, and all of that was going in your head because you didn't know any better, and you start to accept it. You start to think about it, and you start to form a belief. And when it became a belief, you created a reality that reflected your belief, and then your conscious mind sees evidence of that reality, which solidifies it more, and it goes in a cycle, and the conscious mind says, this is true because I see evidence. Subconscious mind agrees and says, okay, just you've seen evidence, it must be true, and it continues and it continues and it continues. That's all a belief is. But hidden in a belief is what's called your true knowing. That's when you know who you truly are. And that happens when you've been awakened. When you start to see synchronicities, that's your higher self tapping you and saying, all right, man, it's time to get out of this game, and it's time to do your purpose. So the good thing about beliefs, you can change them. Now, the reason why you can change beliefs, guys, because reality is waves. You can change a belief. You can start to think a new thought over and over. For example, you can brainwash yourself into being successful, into being healthy, into being whatever you want, into winning the lottery, you can do all that stuff, because all of it exists simultaneously as infinite probabilities of quantum wave. Once you put your attention into it, you start to collapse it, and it becomes your physical reality eventually. See how easy that is? So to build beliefs, think a new thought over and over, let it get impressed. You can show it evidence too by looking at stuff that resonates with it, seeing people who've done it, what you've done or what you like to do, and it goes into your unconscious and it becomes your reality. Okay, I like your video on winning the lottery. This reminds me of this kind of, yes. And the lottery, guys, is just an example of this. You can do you can collapse this world because it's all relative. It's all subjective. This is not an objective universe. You live in a subjective. What do I mean by subjective? It means that you can decide what you want to experience and it comes into your world. All right. So that's to answer the question. So let me sum it up so you can get it. Why did the creator program us with bad side of ego? So you know that you are the creator. You didn't program that. What happened is when you came into the 3D world, the conscious mind developed survival mechanism. But when we developed what we call modern society, they made rules and stuff, and these rules apply to your ego. Your ego still take those rules and try to keep you safe by not making you go after your goals. Now, and also because you've been programmed, we say this is good or this is bad. Everything just is. Okay, and that's so you got that. Okay, is it to test our consciousness? No. We test our own selves based on what we think and feel. So remember this. It's really easy to understand this. No one is testing you but you. If you feel you're being tested, you're going to be tested. If you feel you're not going to be tested, you're not going to be tested, because all things come through your subconscious mind. Okay? Am I reposting this live? Yes, I'll definitely attempt to repost this live for you guys. All right, guys. So that's it. And I'll see you again next time.